Jury has reached a verdict. So before we bring them in, I do want to say to everybody here, families in attendance, obviously, you all have a interest in the outcome of this case. I want to commend all of you for how you've behaved during the course of the trial. I said it earlier today, and I'll say it again. I don't think I've ever been a part of a trial where we've had this many people here on a matter that's obviously close to all of you, where everybody has behaved appropriately. I trust that that will continue with the reading of the jury's verdict. I would ask that you show no visible signs of approval or disapproval of the verdict whatsoever, out of respect for the hard work that this jury has put into the case and for the difficult decision that we have called upon them to make. This is not their usual day-to-day existence. This is something extraordinary we have required of them. So with that being said, are we ready to receive the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Oh, no.
Counsel, you all can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ma'am, I trust you're the foreperson.
Yes.
You hand the verdict form to the bailiff, please. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Boileau, will you please stand for the reading of the verdict? Madam Clerk.
Verdict, we the jury find as follows as the defendant in this case. The defendant is guilty of manslaughter. Did the state prove beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally carried, displayed, used, threatened to use, or attempted to use a firearm? Yes. So say we all, day this first day of October 2025.
Okay, thank you. Y'all can be seated. Madam Clerk, will you please poll the jury? Members of the jury, the clerk will ask each of you individually whether this is your verdict. You respond with yes or no.
Linda Young, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Deborah Green,
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room, except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege to not speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to each of you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. With that said, I hereby discharge you as the jury of this case. I do want to thank you sincerely for the time and attention you gave to this matter. If you'll retire once more to the jury room, Deputy Boucher will hand your cell phones out. I also have some juror certificates I will come back and give you as thanks for your jury service. I'll be with you shortly.
Thank you.
The jury has left the courtroom. Mr. Boileau will be remanded into custody.
The court consider allowing him to remain at liberty pending sentence.
No, sir. Now, let's talk about sentencing. He's entitled to a pre-sentence investigation. So one will be ordered. I would like that back from the Department of Corrections within 30 days. Now, how long? I see a lot of people here. I don't know how many people are going to want to speak at sentencing. How long do you all think we will need for a sentencing hearing?
I would imagine maybe at least an afternoon, Your Honor. If the court would allow, I can also kind of, if your assistant could provide a couple dates outside of that, I can obviously work with what works with the family and kind of have a better idea of how many statements to have a better idea of what time we would need.
Okay. All right. Well, as part of the pre-sentence investigation, people are free to write letters
Yes, sir.
and for the state and the defense. I anticipate that I will probably do more reflecting on what sentence will be imposed than in most cases. I would appreciate as much information as I can have from both the state and the defense with the pre-sentence investigation. I will not send, I want at least 2 weeks after I have the PSI back to reflect on what's in it before we have a hearing.
Yes, sir.
So, an afternoon, how long do you think you would need, Mr. Taddy, for what evidence you expect to present?
Probably a similar amount of time.
Okay. All right. Let's do this then. I ordinarily set a sentencing date today after verdict. I will, Madam Clerk, for calendaring purposes, I'd like to put Mr. Boileau's case on my October 14th pretrial conference docket. Is that a Tuesday?
It is a Tuesday.
For calendaring, just so we have another date out in the future, he'll be put on that date. By then, I'll have my assistant reach out to you all with possible dates for sentencing, and we can schedule it accordingly. Do you all think you'll need, between the two of you, a day, or afternoon each, or you all think an afternoon or a morning total will be sufficient?
I think a day.
Maybe a day, Your Honor, if you want to kind of give us the availability this afternoon, even as soon as that, I can kind of talk to the family, maybe have an idea, so when Ms. Seek reaches out, I can give a better idea.
Okay. Let's do this, Madam Clerk. Let's put him down on my November. Do you have my calendar? November 18th, 1 o'clock for pretrial conference.